Here we go. We got a mythic. Let's see. Draw the top spell of your deck. Deal damage to each enemy unit equal to the spell's cost. This guy's pretty insane looking. Um, Nice that it gives you a guaranteed spell draw, and if you should have a good chance of wiping the opponent's board. We'll have to keep an eye on what costs we've got left. I think we'll just be taking that. None of these uncommons would be better, and Torch is a nice card, but I think we're going to go with the Mythic over it. Let's see, Charchain Flail is pretty powerful. Oh, wait, this isn't the one I thought of. I thought this was the creature enhancement that keeps coming back. This is just kind of an X spell. It's a relic weapon, so this is sort of like you just pay all your mana and you get to deal damage to a creature equal to that, and then you have to take a hit from the creature. Probably not. It's a decent card. Like, it seems fine, although this is double red and this guy is triple blue. So let's look at what else we could do in blue. We've got Stormlynx and Terrax Hatchling, which would both be options. And Geral's Frostkin. I think either of these gold cards is a little better, although these would we would need to be in white-blue to play these ones, and white may not be open. This is a sign that red might be open because the person passing this took they took an uncommon over this one, so passing up on a red rare, they might not want to be in that color, but I don't think I want to go completely into another color, and I don't really think I want the Frostkin here. So I'm actually going to go with the Terrax Hatchling over Stormlynx. Ambush is nice, but this has impressed me before, and I think this is one of the better Echo creatures. Here we've got another Echo guy that's pretty good. This is the same cost as the 6/5, so it has -1/-1 from that, but in exchange you get an extra copy of it, which is pretty insane. And having two decently big attackers is a nice thing. So I guess we're just going to draft like white-blue every time, which is great because white-blue is a good combination. We are seeing red cards here, so we may end up going into that actually. Let's see, drawing a torch when this guy dies is decent, but it's kind of small for the cost. I mean, 3/1 for 4 isn't going to impact the board too much. This is a little expensive, and we'd need to have weapons in our deck, so I don't think I want to go for that right now. Ruin's not really a playable. We've also got Removal and Spirit Drain, or we've got Sanctuary Priest, and I really don't think I want to take this right now. So let's grab something other than that. I don't actually like any of these red cards very much, but it does seem like we're seeing a lot of them. Like I was saying, we may get past a lot of red as well, and the others here are kind of replaceable. This is a decent removal spell. Deal 4 to unit and gain 4 life, but it is 6 mana to do it, and sometimes you're going to, when you're that late in the game, the 4 might not be enough, and sometimes you just won't get the mana for this early enough. So let's go with Rebel Illuminator here. And we'll try to keep our options open. It looks like we've got a decent green-white protection spell here. Bronze Cuirass, I guess. So draw a card when you play it. This just gives a creature +4 toughness. I think this is a little better than the white spell that can give a creature 4 toughness, because this draws a card when you do it, but it's also twice as expensive. Not a lot going on in this pack. I think our picks are like Levitate if we want to try to stay blue, which we probably do. Although this would give us a 1 mana spell for him, so that would be the only spell, and having it cost 1 is not very good. We could also take like Oni Ronin if we want to try to see if red's going to be open. I'm going to go with that here. We've got some time to figure out where we need to be. I think Obsidian Golem is pretty strong. This is a good value card. You get a 2/2 for 2, and when it dies, you get +2/+2 on a creature. But this isn't a color that we haven't taken anything in yet. So we've got 2 red cards that are not really very good. We've got 2 good Echo cards in white, and we've got a pretty strong blue card and an Echo card that's in blue. So we would still prefer to be in white-blue here, but it does not look like those colors are particularly open. Battle Bowler Centaur is fairly strong also. We don't have any green cards or black cards, So there's not much of a difference between like how awkward either of these would be for us to play. And Cabal Recruiter, I don't think is that big a deal. It's like a 1/4 for 4 that has, if it hits them, it's great, but it's going to be hard to hit with. So let's take the Obsidian Golem. And we are kind of all over the place in this draft so far, but hopefully we'll be able to figure out where we want to end up. Sky Snapper's another good one in blue, so I'm kind of inclined to take that just to see. We may be like red-blue, we may be red-blue splashing a color, we may be like blue-white-red. Dust Tooth Brawler is pretty replaceable. Piercing Shot is a removal spell. Doing 2 damage for 2 mana is not super exciting. And I guess we do have 3 red cards at this point, so we are looking to find out if we want to be in red-black. But I'm going to go with Sky Snapper here, just to try to keep the blue dream alive. Well, there's a torch, so we're definitely going to need to be red if that's coming this late. And it's a little unfortunate that we didn't get in on red earlier. We'll probably take the Seek Power here because there's a good chance we're going to be splashing something. Beast Caller's Amulet is decent. Like, it's actually a fairly powerful equipment. You just have to wait until you get an opportunity for an attack. But we may not end up being black because there's only one. We've only seen one card for it. So let's take the Fixer now and just keep our options open. None of these are super exciting. I'm going to take the Destroyer based on the size here. 3/3 for 3, and life still is decent. It does have Reckless, so sometimes it's going to like suicide itself in. So you just have to be able to plan for that. And if we end up as a red-black deck, we should probably be able to pick up some weapons for this thing. And Warband Chieftain seems pretty decent. It looks like red-black are the colors we're going to end up, so we'll go with the 5/5 for 5, and we got a weapon here. Okay. So blue-white, not really working out here. We may still end up being... We may end up being like a black, red, blue here. Because here's a decent blue card. Sapphire Dragon is a flying Overwhelm, so it's a pretty big flyer. Treachery we're not going to play. This is just the green-white stuff here, just completely wrong colors for us. So there's not a lot else going on in the colors that it looks like are going to be open. We could take like Recogulator would be the only other option for red. And I guess it's a playable, but it's not really something I super want. So let's take a blue card. We got a nice burn spell in Flame Blast. That'll probably be our pick because this can be removal. And it is variably sized, so it can get as big as the amount of mana we have. And not much else that really comes close to that. This is triple red, and some of these blue cards have really high... some of the blue cards have really high color requirements, so I think we're probably not going to be in a blue deck if we play this, but we'll still be happy with it. Here's a Smuggler Stash. This can be pretty nutso as a draw for, so we're definitely going to be happy to do that late in the game. And not much else that would compete with drawing this many cards. We will need to make sure we've got some weapons that we can play, but I think we've already got at least one. So we can get Oni Ronin. Rapid Shot's a good trick. Sharpshooter is a decent creature. This is a 3/3 for 3. We're probably not going blue here. So I think this pick is... I don't think the 1-drop is going to be super important, although coming out early with these... I mean, you can get aggressive, but this gets outclassed quickly. So I think this is between Rapid Shot and the Sharpshooter, and I think we're going to take Sharpshooter just to have another creature for the deck. Rapid Shot is a nice, powerful card, so it's something hopefully we'll pick up a copy at some point. We're going to take Guerrilla Fighter here over basically nothing. It is a nice... this is a nice one that can get you through a blocker. Like, they leave one thing back to block, and you can play this, so you can get some extra damage in. It looks like we're taking another one, because there's, again, really nothing here. I don't think we want Alchemical Blast. This is not very exciting. So our pick here is going to be between Obsidian Golem and Stone Scarmagus. These both have kind of similar effects. This gives you a +2 for one of your things, but you have to pay an extra 2 mana for it. And this gives enemy -2/-2, and they're both a total of 4 mana to do that. So I think we're going to take the Obsidian Golem because it lets us split that payment up. And having 2 of those is going to be nice. We'll have a good chance of having those on turn 2. Not a lot going on here. We could take the Ruin, or we could take like this banner in case we... I mean, we're not going to need green and white mana, so it really doesn't matter. We'll just take the Ruin. Probably not going to play it. Not going to play any of these white cards or this blue one. The Scaly Gruon, I guess, is going to be our pick, although I don't think we are going to take it. We'll just pass the white cards. Again, I don't mind passing. Do not want to accidentally click there. I do not mind passing like better cards because we're probably not going to play against the person who ends up with this pool. So, yeah, there's another blue-white rare. We had this in a previous draft, and it just never really had an impact. I do not think we're going to be able to play it here, so we could get, like, Subvert. You do get 2 cards out of this because the opponent loses a card, and then you get it, but you don't get to pick what it's going to be, and if they have an empty hand when you play this, it just doesn't do anything. So, I'm not a huge fan of Subvert. Let's take a look at this deck and see what we're not going to play real quick. I don't really like any of the picks that I'm seeing right here. Not going to play Worn Shield. Not going to play the Hatchling. I don't think we're going to play these blue cards. We do want Smuggler's Stash. Not going to play that Mythic, unfortunately. Okay, so this looks like the deck we've got. We have a couple of 2-mana Obsidian Golems. I think we will play Venom Fang Dagger, even though it's not super strong. It can actually get a small blocker through. Like, if we put this on a 2/2 and make it a 3/3, it can still attack into, like, a 6/6 or whatever, because if they block, their thing dies anyway because of Deadly. And that's actually a nice combo with Rebel Sharpshooter, because if we put Venom Fang Dagger on here, this gets a quick draw and Deadly, so it just annihilates any blocker before it can do damage to the Sharpshooter. We've got a couple 3-mana creatures. We have a good number of 4s. We have 3 4-mana creatures, and on 5 we've got 1, but we've also got Smuggler's Stash, which is going to probably be a more late game card than we won't be playing it on turn 5. It is likely. So 2 drops and 3 drops are things we're really going to be looking out for. We don't need the 4s so bad, and unfortunately these red and black cards are all 4 mana. And I don't know that there's any of them that we super duper want here. I guess I'm really not that big a fan of Subvert, but yeah, so we'll take Gorilla Fighter. That's fine. I don't want it to be a dead card. I'd like our cards to have a bigger impact than that. So here we've got like Blood Beetle. Again, like with the Oni Rodin, if you play this on turn 1, I guess it's fine because it can attack in, but you have to get it through. And the only reward you get for that is having a 2/2 flyer, which is decent, but it can get outclassed. Our other option is like Scheme. This is a nice card drawer. It doesn't give you actual card advantage, it just replaces itself, but it does give you card quality. And that is something that we are going to look for in the late game, and I don't think we're going to be a super aggressive deck with like attacking with Blood Beetles on turn 2, so I think we'll take Scheme and try to go for the late game power. This looks like it's probably a pretty easy death strike. Just kill a unit, fast spell, no questions. Kill a unit whenever you want is great. And we've got some filler red creatures that it would have been nice to see this on an earlier pick, because I would have taken this over either of our last 2 picks, actually, because it's just a creature that's better for our curve than the 4-drop was. But Death Strike, not close there. Ghost Form is not exactly what we're looking for, but Obsidian Golem, I think, this is a good late game value card. It's interesting that these 2 colors look like they end up being like ones that really accumulate a lot of value over the course of the game, and Obsidian Golem is really nice for doing that. So we see a weapon here for one of our creatures, where we can get a relic weapon. This does have quick draw, which is interesting, because if we're attacking a minion that has only 2 health, then we can kill it and it doesn't do damage back to us, so it won't take out the toughness or the armor from our weapon. So if we're killing things that have 2 toughness or less, then we could just like conceivably keep this around for a long time. Our other option is Stone Scar Magus, and I think this is a decent card. I think it is pretty good in a long game, but I'm going to go ahead and try out the Revolver here. It is an uncommon, so we've got a better chance of seeing another Stone Scar Magus as well. Only card in our colors is Rampage, so we'll take it. It's a decent trick, I think. It's good with... Rampage is really good with Quick Draw because it gives a large power bonus, but a small toughness bonus. We could get like a Feln Stranger if we were really trying to splash the blue, but I think our blue cards have a too high a commitment to that color to really make that happen, and this isn't a strong way to splash anyway. So we could get another Rampage. Madness has some interesting things about it. I believe if the Madness creature dies that we steal, it goes to our discard pile, our Void, and then we could like maybe redraw that with Smuggler's Stash. So that's kind of cool. And if we have end up with things that let us sacrifice our creatures, I don't think we have any of that stuff yet. But if we end up with things that let us sacrifice our creatures, we could steal an opponent's thing, attack them with it, and then sacrifice it for value. So we may take that and just see if we get some synergy with it. Our other options are like Ticking Grenadin. This is also good if we're sacrificing. I mean, it's not good. I don't like it very much, but I have at least one person I know who does. It's good if we can sack it to something, but I don't think that we're going to be aggressive enough to want like a 1-drop like this. Our other option is Treachery. It's kind of like a removal. It's good if we're playing it on turn 2 because they're likely to have a unit. But if we draw this late in the game when they have no cards in hand, it just doesn't do anything. It just does, we use up a card to do 2 to the opponent. So I'm not going to go with that here. We'll take Madness because I think it has the highest possible upside. I think another good option there would have been just taking the combat trick. We can't play Feeding Time, unfortunately, because we've pretty much decided we're not trying to play blue here. It's just a shame to lose this nice removal spell, but it'll be okay. We'll take Amethyst Acolyte and be pretty happy because it gives us a 3-drop for our curve, and yeah, it's a decent card. So not too bad. We will take Grenadin Drone over nothing we can play here. And I think sack a unit to draw 2 cards and get 2 health. This does work with our Obsidian Golem. It does work with our Madness. We would be passing Recogulator for it, but I don't really care that much about playing Recogulator anyway because we've got a good number of 4s already. So we'll take a Devour. I don't think it's a great card, but we'll do it. And just grab the last couple of cards out of the pack. This is pack 4. We've got a nice creature here. This has Deadly and Quick Draw, so we discussed that combination already in this video. And we've got some other options, like this would be good if we're in some kind of a sacrifice stack, but that's more of a constructed thing, even though we have a few cards for it already. And this is a nice card too, but we've got some 2-drops, and this is pretty powerful. It just, takes out any blockers, so nothing in the commons that would make us, would sway us away from this 6/3 for 5, so we'll take that. Outland Sniper is probably decent tempo. It is only a 2/2 for 4, but you get 2 damage right away with this. It's a little bit better than the Stone Scar Magus because this one you have to wait till it dies, and this one you get it right away. So like you can attack in with your stuff and then snipe something that to like finish it off. Like say we attack in with a 3/3 Xenan Destroyer, and they block with a 5/5, we can finish it with Outland Sniper. So yeah, we'll be happy with that. We've got another 4-drop. I don't think we really want this. Vulture is not a bad card, but I think we're going to go with Ornate Katana. This does give us this is a nice weapon to bring back with Smuggler's Stash because it draws a card when we play it, so we can get some additional card advantage that way. We've got another Rampage, a Hellfire Rifle. So this goes on a creature. It does 3 to the enemy player, and it gives +3/+3, which is a pretty big bonus. We'd be passing Pyre Adept basically for it. So it's between these 2 cards, and let's look at our 2-mana cards. We're probably not going to play Rampage if we don't have to. Right now, our 2-drops are really just Obsidian Golems. So we probably should take another 2-mana creature over this, even though it's a nice big weapon. We are fairly late in the draft, so and of course there's another Obsidian Golem. That's okay. I don't think we can have too many of these. There's another nice 2-drop, and we've got a couple of decent creatures in black, so this grows if it gets in for damage, and this just gives us life back. Let's go with the life steal, and we've got a couple black cards here. Again, I don't think we want Blood Beetle. We'll go for the 6/4. We may not play that. Not a lot in this pack. I guess we'll just take a bad card here. We'll just take a bad card here. We'll take this one because we'll probably consider playing that. We'll take anything that's on color, but we'll just pass some good stuff. That way somebody else will end up with a nice deck in the future. Okay, so we've got 34 here. We want to get this down to around 27, so we're going to cut about 7 of these cards we're looking at. This is the part that I think takes the longest. We'll try to get through it pretty quick. So we definitely want to keep Chieftain, Stash. Revolver I think we'll play. We're going to try this out. Deadshot's a nice one. Illuminator I'm not thrilled about, but we'll try it out. Outland Sniper I think is decent. These are both like kind of small, but they come with burn, so we'll try them. I'm not a huge fan of Magma Javelin. I think it's a nice removal, but I think we can do better things, and we're often going to be playing a minion or whatever the creatures units. We're going to be playing a unit on turn 4. We've got triple Gorilla Fighter. We do want Death Strike. Actually, we've got 3, 4, 5. We've only got 5 4-mana creatures that we're looking at playing, but I think that's a good number to have. We probably want the Scheme. Sharpshooter I think we do want. So this gives us, 1, 2, I don't think we want Madness. 3, 4, we've got 4 3-mana creatures is decent. I think we may not need Pyre Adept. We've got 1, 2 weapons on 2 mana. I think we'll play both of those. Although we are going to be getting weapons out of our Obsidian Golems too that kind of outclass our other stuff. We could probably cut Venom Fang Dagger, since we've got 4 Obsidian Golems in this. So we've got a lot of nice 2-mana cards. It is kind of funny that our 2s have some of the strictest color requirements. This is 29. We can cut Pyre Adept. We do want 4 Obsidians. We want to keep probably the Lithra Ranger and Cabal Cutthroat. We don't want Accelerate. Get out of here. We don't want Sanctuary Priest. Is that still there? Torch is good. Oni Ronin is not very good, but we'll play it. Grenadindrone is also not very good, but we'll play it. This gives us 26, and we have some high requirements for our colors, so we may put Seek Power back in there. It does cycle, so it's not like we're losing like that much tempo playing something like that. And I think Rampage is something we probably want to try to get into the deck. I guess Magma Javelin would be decent, but right now we're going to try to just play the 4-mana units. Okay, so it's 28. If we add power, this gives us 17. We actually do need to cut back down from this. We want to play probably 18 or 19 sigils in the deck. I think we do want Seek Power, so my first thought would be to cut the card that we added in most recently, which was Rampage. But Rampage gives us a way to interact at instant speed. Other options we could cut. I guess we could cut Runic Revolver, but I want to try to keep that. I'm not thrilled about Rebel Illuminator, but I want to try it. We could cut Scheme. We could cut Oni Ronin or Grenadindrone. I'm not really thrilled about either of these. You know, let's cut the Grenadindrone, whatever. Oni Ronin I don't think is very good, but we'll try it out. And we'll just add another Shadow Sigil. I think our red costs are actually a lot higher than our black, but we need both on turn 2 for Obsidian Golem. Like, Flame Blast is a pretty late game card. Yeah, we've got a lot more red requirements, it looks like. But we have enough, like, double of each that I think just going 9 and 9 is going to be good. Um, so yeah, this is the deck, and we will hopefully win a bunch of games with this.